everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday so far. We're going to wait just a couple minutes to get started, but while we wait, please drop in the chat where you are tuning in from today. That would be awesome. And if you're up for it, turn your videos on. I'd love to see your beautiful faces. I know some people are at work or you might be driving. That's totally okay. You don't have to have your video on, but if you can, that would be awesome. Hey, Brenda, good to see you. Hi, Joanne, Susan. Awesome. Awesome. Tuning in from San Diego, Kentucky. Good morning from Washington. Hi, Jules. Thanks for being on. There's Miss Jamie. Hey, Jonna. Hello, hello. Texas, fantastic. Ohio. Drop in the chat where you're tuning in from, guys. Let me know what flavor of ketones you are drinking this morning or you already had. I just shook up some caffeine-free hibiscus lemonade. This is like my favorite. So I'm going to be sipping on this. Sweet tea lemonade. Ooh, that's another good one. Awesome. We'll wait just a minute and then we will get started. Strawberry peach. Shelby also had hibiscus lemonade. That's my girl. Fantastic. Hey, Jamie. Signal Defense. Yay, getting ready to get on your flight to Louisville. That's going to be amazing. I know it is a busy, busy time for everyone. People are either starting school this week, they're at work, they are getting ready to fly to Louisville for our amazing More event. I know it's a crazy busy time. So kudos to you guys for hopping on today. This is going to be great. It's going to be a fairly quick Zoom. I'm only going to take about 20 minutes of your time this morning, but we are going to truly just get into action. So I'm going to wait about 30 more seconds and then we'll fully get started. If you haven't yet, drop where you are tuning in from in the chat. Berry Blue and Signal Defense. Awesome. Caramel Broth still rebooting. Good for you. That's awesome. How many hours in are you? That's fantastic. We're having some wonky weather here in Texas, so hopefully internet and all that will stay on board. All right, it looks like it's 11:01, so we will go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Melissa Butler. I am one of your teammates and one of your champs out of Roanoke, Texas. I'm excited to be here with you guys today. The goal of this call today is to simply just get into action together. Sometimes it's fun to have the energy of going through this process together and being able to ask questions, being able to share. I'm going to be giving you some really specific ideas and wording today. And our goal is to load up our guest call tonight, our Maximize Your Ketones guest call. It's at 7:30 Central. We do have the link for that. It'll pop up in your Pulse later on today, or Maddie can pop it in the chat box here as well. But we are going to spend the next 20 minutes just really digging into how do we invite to this call and how do we make sure that we're utilizing this call on a weekly basis to build our business. We have this amazing team and amazing system in place. And if we utilize it, the business does not have to be overly complicated or difficult. So that's our goal for today. So we're going to jump right in. So what I'd love for you to start with is I want you to start thinking about 3 groups of people. And if you have a paper and pen nearby and you can write this down, awesome. If you're driving or something like that, don't write it down. If you're catching the replay, you can do this at a later point. But we do want to do this as quick as possible so we have time to get these invites in before the call tonight. So you're going to be thinking of 3 groups of people. The first group are just people who have shown interest in ketones. Who have you talked to? Who has liked some of your recent posts or just asked a little bit about it, but maybe they're kind of on the fence. They haven't ordered samples yet. They haven't placed an order on your website yet. Go ahead and start writing down, jotting down some of their names, the ones that pop up in your head. The second group of people are people you have recently sent sample packs to, or even people who you sent sample packs to a month or 2 ago and they never really jumped on board. So make your list as well of those sample pack people. All right, so those are your first 2 lists. People who've shown interest but haven't jumped in, and then people who have done sample packs. And then your third list is your current customers, right? So that'll be easy. You can log into your cloud, go to manage, click community, and you can see your list of who your current customers are as well. Or you might also, I'm a paper and pen girl. I don't know if you guys are. I love paper and pen. It works for me. So you can just, if you have that written down somewhere, have that list handy as well. So our goal today is to really send personal invites to all of these people, to invite them onto this call tonight. And it doesn't have to be overly complicated. I have some wording that I've saved in a Word document that I'm going to kind of be copying and pasting over to the chat box. You can copy and paste that wording if it works for you, if you like the way it sounds, and just utilize that wording as we go. Or you can change it up a little bit. If you want something that sounds a little bit more like you or how you would talk, that's fine. Feel free to change it, but also feel free to use it as is. The goal during this time is to send as many invites out in the next 16 minutes as we possibly can together. If you have people that respond back, great. Just leave it. Let it sit for a few minutes and keep sending out your invites. You don't want to get stuck in one conversation with someone for 15 minutes and then miss your window of time to send out all of these invitations. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to go to my little Word document here. Okay, so the first wording I'm going to start with is someone who has been curious about ketones. So I'm going to paste this over here in the chat. Okay, it says, hey, since you have been curious about ketones, I wanted to invite you to a great call my team is hosting tonight. You can just pop an earbud in and listen and learn all about ketones and hear some great stories about what they have done for others in our community. If I sent you the link, would you want to hop on? That's the key part of the invite. If I sent you the link, would you want to hop on? You want to make sure that you include that wording. That's really important and it works really, really well. Okay. Like I said, you can change up that wording to sound more like you, but that's something that I would send to someone who's maybe recently been liking some of my posts, has asked me about ketones, but has not quite jumped in. Hey, Steph, good to see your face. Awesome. So we're going ahead and getting into action with sending out some invites for our call tonight. So you can copy and paste that wording word for word, or you can change it up to sound a little bit more like you, whatever works best. It is really important too. You notice in that wording, I didn't say what time the call is. You want to leave something for them to wonder about, right? Like, oh, well, she didn't tell me what time it is. They're going to have to come back and ask you, what time is the call tonight? And that helps you to engage in conversation. Sometimes it's good to not always give it all away. So go ahead, start with that list of people who have shown interest in ketones and send that wording out. You can use text, you can use Facebook Messenger, whatever works best for you. I'm going to grab the next set of wording. Let's see if I can get this. All right. Yes, the three lists were people who are interested but have not jumped in, people who are currently doing samples, and then your current customers as well. One thing, Brenda said, great tip about the time. Another thing that I'll say about time, and I was sharing this on my team call last night, is for many people who are working full-time jobs, which is majority of the people in our community, time is what we have very little of. So if you can set a time in your day, even if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and schedule that in your planner, that's time you're going to focus on your business, that little bit of time consistently utilized is going to pay off huge in your business. So set that in your calendar, set an alarm on your phone, and you showing up to this action hour is a huge part of that. So that's awesome. Okay, so another wording, this would be for your current customers. If you want to go ahead and get started on that list, if you're through your list of people who are interested or people who've done samples, this you also could use for people who've done samples as well. It says, hey, Susie Q, I'm so happy you're loving your ketones so far. I wanted to invite you to a great call my team is doing tonight. You'll learn even more about this amazing drink and be encouraged by some awesome stories. And we'll touch on ways you can get your product at a discount and even free every month. If I sent you the link, would you want to listen in? So that part's really important. This is great for your people who are on samples and for your people who are currently customers, because we want them to learn about our SmartShip program. We want them to learn about all the different perks that go along with that, as well as how they can start getting their product free by starting to refer their friends and seeing how easy that process is. So that wording is just a little bit different, but go ahead and copy and paste that into your phone so you can save it. One thing I like to do when I'm on a call like this, so I don't get overwhelmed, is just copy and paste that into your phone notes and save it. That way, if you get off this call and you still have another 5 or 10 minutes that you can be sending out messages, you have it right there available to you. As we are doing this, if you are sending out messages and you get a yes, they are interested in getting on the call, type yes in capital letters in the comments of the chat so that we can celebrate you. If you have questions, please come off mute and ask, or type it in the chat and I'll be happy to answer those for you as well. We're going to take the next couple minutes and just keep working on sending out those invites. And I'm on my computer here for the Zoom and I have my phone, so I'm going to be sending out invites as well. If you're just hopping on, you can scroll up in the chat to see some of the other wording that we're using. Right now, we are just focused on sending out messages, getting as many invites out as we can, and trying not to respond until we've gotten through all of our lists. Has anyone gotten any yeses yet? Type it in the chat if you get one so we can celebrate you. But you don't have to respond to them. Keep sending out messages. You don't have to respond back, but let us know. If you are sitting here and you are maybe newer, or you don't have a large amount of customers yet, while you guys are working through and copying and pasting these messages and sending them out, I'm going to give you a couple tips on how you can find more people to add to your list. If you're sitting here and you're like, my list is not very long, that's okay. Yay, Stephanie got a yes. Ashley Riddle got a yes. Fantastic. 2 yeses. Awesome. Keep going, girl. That's fantastic. Okay, so a couple things that you can do to find more people is going back on your Facebook or your Instagram, whatever you utilize. Yay, Cynthia got a yes, fantastic. Go back and look at some of your old posts. So old posts where you have maybe shared your story or you've shared a transformation of your own or a teammate's, or even go back and look at your Freebie Friday posts that you have done and look at the people who commented on those that maybe kind of dropped off your radar. That is totally normal. But those are great people to reach back out to, especially people who raised their hand on Freebie Friday and said they want free ketones. This would be great to invite them to. So add them to your list as well. You can also talk to people who've simply just shown love on your posts. I remember Carrie out in Vegas teaching me that at one point on a Zoom. It was a while back, but he said, don't miss out on the people who are liking your posts, who aren't commenting. They're still showing you love. They're still showing a level of interest in what you're doing. So in that case, you could send some of the wording I just shared with you. Another option is, let me grab it real quick. Where did it go? It disappeared on me. Okay, another thing you could say is something like, thanks for the love on my recent post. Just curious, are you drinking ketones yet? That is really simple wording. And obviously that's not an invite to the call, but it's opening the conversation about ketones. So if they say, no, what is that? Then you can say, well, actually, I have this awesome call that you can listen in on tonight if you want to learn a little bit more about it. And you can share with them a little bit of your story like you normally would. You can always shoot them the campfire video and then invite them to the call. But something like that would be great as well to just start more conversations today. So I'm going to type that super simple wording into the chat real quick. It was, thanks for the love on my recent post. Just curious, are you drinking ketones yet? I love this because it kind of assumes that everybody should be drinking ketones, and it's a great way to start the conversation. Because you're assuming if they loved your post about ketones, maybe they drink them, but most likely not. So it's a great way for you to start a conversation. And then there was one more. If you want to do just some really bold reach outs, maybe you have had someone on your mind who maybe you worked with them in the past or went to high school or college with them, and now they are showing pictures of themselves working out, or maybe they are talking about how tired they are with their kids going back to school, something along those lines. You can do something really simple like, hey, I just thought about you today, and I know this might be a little bit out of left field, but I'm curious, are you drinking ketones yet? That's a great way to initiate a brand new conversation with someone without just spilling tons of information on them all at once with an invite to the call. So you can always go back to the invite after you start the conversation. Let's see, Stephanie said, I said, hey, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for following my journey. Can I ask, are you drinking ketones yet? I love that. That's fantastic, Stephanie. Awesome. So if you guys keep getting more yeses to the invite, put yes in the chat, or if you have used some of this really simple wording that Stephanie shared or I shared, and someone just responds back, go ahead and put a yes in the chat as well for that. That's awesome. The more conversations we can start, the better. That is what this business is about. It's just more conversations, helping more people get started with ketones. Another quick tip, we have about 5 minutes left. I want to make sure I give you all of the tips. So if you have little pockets in your day, the rest of the day, you can continue this activity even when we get off of this call. Another thing that you can do is if you go into your Facebook Messenger, this is where I do a lot of my conversations, and you click the search bar at the top, you can type in keywords. Ashley Riddle taught me this, and it is an awesome tip. So you can type in keywords. You might type in Freebie Friday, and it might bring up people who you have sent information to about Freebie Friday. You could type in samples or trial packs or ketones, and it's going to bring up old conversations that you can scroll through and see who have I talked to that kind of fell off my radar. So that's another way you can add more people to your list, is simply searching your Messenger app. All right. Let you guys get a few more invites out. I have one more action step that you can take today. You can do it while we're here on the call, or you can take a few minutes after the call and do it. You can do a post or put something in your story about the call. One thing that I like to do is take a quick selfie of myself with my shaker cup, or I can go back and find an old picture that I've taken that's really interesting and kind of catches the eye of my ketones. And I might throw that into my story, and I might just say, have you been curious about this drink I can't stop talking about, right? Would you love to be a fly on the wall and just be able to learn a little bit more? Or something along those lines. So you are asking people if they're interested in learning more. You can put a poll in your story, and on one side of the poll, it could say, send me link. And on the other side, it could say what time. So you can mention, if you could be a fly on the wall and listen to a call and learn more, would you want to? And then put that poll, send me link or what time on the other side of the poll. And that way you're not giving it all away. Again, they're having to interact and engage with you in order for you to get to start to have that conversation. So putting something like that in your stories this morning would be great. And as you get those hits on your poll throughout the day, then you can and send them the invite wording as well. All right. You want me to type that up? Yeah. Let's see. So you mean, Ashley, you mean the part about what to put in your story? Okay. Let's see. So it could change up, be a little bit different, but I'll give you a couple ideas. But there's what I would kind of the wording I would use in my story. You could put a cool picture in there with your ketones, maybe put the been curious about this drink I can't stop talking about. And then in another spot on the picture, put if you could be a fly on the wall and listen to a call tonight to learn more, would you want to? And then for the poll, I would change the yes or no, and I would put on one side, send me link. And on the other side, I would put what time. Cynthia, the link for the call will come up in the Pulse here in just a bit. I know Maddie will put that into the Pulse so we all have it. And just if someone's responding yes back to you, just say, awesome. As soon as I have the link, I'll shoot it your way. And then just put a star next to them or flag that conversation. So you know here in just a bit when you have the Zoom link, you can send it to them. It's really important too, guys. I just want to encourage you in this last minute that we have, write down who responds yes and set an alarm on your phone for 30 minutes before the call. So the call is at 7:30 tonight. So at 7 p.m., set an alarm on your phone to send a reminder text or message to the people who said yes. It's really important that we are supporting them in this journey. Life happens. I know for me, that's bedtime for my kids. I've got 3 little girls and it's a crazy time in the evening. And so I have invited so many people to these calls and they've said yes. And then guess what? They don't show up because life happens. But we can do our part by reminding them. So set an alarm on your phone at 7 o'clock for you to go in and remind the people who said yes. And so just say, hey, just want to give you a heads up. Call starts in 30 minutes. Can't wait to see you on. And that way you're kind of holding them accountable. So let me put that wording in here as well. Hey, just wanted to remind you. Minutes. Can't wait to see you on. Okay. So you want to obviously follow up beforehand, remind them about the call, and then follow up afterwards, right? If you do see that they're on the call, or even if you're not able to for whatever reason, follow up afterwards and just say, hey, what did you think? You know, weren't those stories awesome, right? So engaging in conversation, following up after the fact is important. And then you can start that conversation about which benefit did you hear tonight that you really need most in your life. You know, asking them questions to engage and help them get their journey started with ketones. Jackie asked, what was the question for the poll? So if you scroll up just a little bit, I put, been curious about this drink I can't stop talking about. If you could be a fly on the wall and listen to a call tonight to learn more, would you want to? So if you're using the poll in Instagram or in Facebook stories, you can just put text on it that says that, and then just use the poll for the answers. And one side can say, send me link, and one side can say what time. Okay. Make sure though, guys, you don't just post and pray that people will hit your poll. I've strategically told you about posting about it last on this action hour because I really want you to get into actually sending personal messages and personal reach outs to invite people to the call. That's really important. And that's where you're going to really get the most bang for your buck. So does anybody have any questions before we hop off? You guys were awesome. I hope this was helpful. Take some time throughout your day, little pockets of your day, and do some more activities, some more invites. I hope this was helpful. Awesome, Ashley got 4 yeses, fantastic. Awesome, guys. All right, well, we're 2 minutes over, so I don't want to keep you. Make sure that you copy and paste the wording real quick if you didn't already from the chat. I know Maddie also went ahead and threw the link in there for the call tonight as well. All right, guys, gonna go ahead and end the Zoom. Take care, have a great rest of your Wednesday. Let's load up this call tonight. Bye, guys.